Hey, this is Troy from Planet 76. We've got some really good Sixers-focused content coming your way today. Make sure you subscribe to the pod so you can be in the know when we release new content. Enjoy the show. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Planet 76. This is one of your co-hosts, Troy. I've got Michael with me, and it feels like a while since we recorded, but it's only been 10 days or something, I think. You know, we normally record on Thursday. We're recording late Sunday night on the 26th. We're going to go into the 27th. That's how late we are tonight. But, yeah, if you are new to the podcast, welcome. We usually drop content every week or so throughout the season and the off season. And so, yeah, we cover all things Philadelphia 76ers. You can hit that subscribe button on whatever platform you are on. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube. We post some highlights and just kind of let you know what's going on Instagram as well, Planet 76 Podcast. And, yeah, we're obviously post-draft tonight, so we'll kind of give a recap of what the Sixers did there and give our thoughts and just get into a couple other things. And it should be a little short episode tonight, but just wanted to check in. And, yeah, obviously a big thing in the offseason is the NBA draft, so we'll chat about that. So, Michael, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. I would say pretty eventful week in Sixers land, if you will. Again, the draft was this past Thursday, the 23rd, and the Sixers did not use their pick. They traded it along with Danny Green. Unfortunately, I wish they could have. I wish Danny could have stayed, but again, he's injured, and there's a good chance that he isn't going to be coming back for next season. So I'm assuming Daryl Morey just figured, you know what? Let me try and flip that. If we're not going to get much return on his actual playing time, because, again, he's not going to play, let me just flip that. And the 23rd pick for De'Anthony Melton from the Memphis Grizzlies, combo guard, very solid. I didn't even really... Yeah. Daryl Morey has the tendency to really do things that you don't even think of, that you're not ever thinking that's actually going to happen. And he did it again on draft night. De'Anthony Melton from the Memphis Grizzlies, fantastic player, great defender, great shooter as well, and really the perfect kind of player that the Sixers need going forward. And Daryl following the format that a lot of teams have been following and a lot of teams have been rolling with, 3-and-D players who can create shots and move without the ball is really, I think, the mold that a lot of teams are going with, and the mold that De'Anthony Melton fits very well.
Yeah. I like how you said that about Daryl. Kind of doing things you don't expect.
He really does. It's crazy.
And that was at the pick.
Yeah.
You know, we're Sixers are on the clock. It comes in with the breaking news that Sixers are using this pick. They're getting De'Anthony Melton. You know, I'm not going to act like I've been following De'Anthony Melton's career since he came into the league, but I know who he is. I know about him, and I was excited. Mm-hmm. You know, and then you look up a little more stuff about him, and I heard that he was just, a couple years ago, he was just off the all defensive teams. I knew he was a good defender. I didn't know he was that good of a defender. I heard that he was pretty close to an all defensive team, which is good and something the Sixers need, obviously. And he's good. I mean, the biggest takeaway I have is, again, Danny Green, that sucks. But the biggest takeaway I have with the whole trade is Sixers are obviously looking, and they're going to continue to in free agency and with trades. They're looking for guys that are going to help the team right now. And the 23rd pick in the NBA draft likely was not going to be a guy that's going to help us right now. Yeah. And so what does Daryl do? He gets someone that's going to be a solid player for us off the bench. Did you say it or someone said it? Maybe Daryl, or I don't think it was you. Someone tweeted, and just like that, De'Anthony Melton is already the best Sixers player off the bench. With the 23rd pick, I mean, you're talking about a guy who's going to be a two-way or, not going to get much time and at that pick, and yet you bring in somebody who is going to make an impact right away. And that's what I like about this deal.
Yeah, it's a couple people said it too. The value you were going to get at 23 in comparison to the actual production that you were going to get it's not very high. It's not really going to be there, as opposed to a player like De'Anthony Melton, who can actually contribute and actually give you solid production off the bench with your team. And with the Grizzlies, he wasn't getting that. He wasn't getting playing time. He wasn't getting many minutes. And with the Sixers, he's really going to be able to get that. Because with the Grizzlies, you have players like Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks even, who are really getting all the minutes at the shooting guard, small forward slot,
right.
which he
plays.
And
Ja is kind of good.
Right, and even then at the point guard spot, they have Tyus Jones as their backup point guard, who's really been getting backup minutes. So De'Anthony Melton wasn't going to see much time, whereas with the Sixers, again, like you mentioned, I'm not sure who said it, but I think I also mentioned something close to that. De'Anthony Melton automatically becomes arguably the best player off the bench that the Sixers are going to have, especially defensively off the bench. I mean, if Matisse Thybulle's here and he starts, obviously he won't count because he's going to be a starter, but off the bench, Melton is going to be the best defensive player that the Sixers have, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's good, and I think he's only 24 years old.
4 years in the league, 2 with the Suns, 2 with the Grizzlies, so he's got experience as well.
Yeah, and I think I like to hope that it's going to be a good fit. I like to hope that it's going to be, where he can feel at home and know his role. And as you mentioned, with the guys off the bench in Memphis and the guys ahead of him, it's just kind of, any given night, maybe he's getting 30 minutes, maybe he's getting 17, maybe he's getting 10, maybe, but I think hopefully he can really blend and mesh into just something where it's his spot. He knows when he's checking in. He knows what he's going to do. He knows his role. So, I didn't see one piece of, oh man, that was a bad move from the Sixers. So,
I sure hope not.
Really
I mean, I'm surprised though, because a lot of times Sixers fans just complain about everything. So
that's true.
I'm surprised, but I'm glad is what I'll say.
Now, how do you think this looks with, because one of the first things that came to my mind was Milton and Melton backcourt off the bench. That'd be kind of cool. But I also saw someone that was Shake's gone now. What's your take there? I mean, obviously Milton and Melton are both capable of playing the 1 or the 2. Be kind of cool backcourt.
I mean, in the defense of the person who said that, I guess you could say that Melton is going to be replacing Milton in terms of minutes off the bench and scoring and stuff like that. But you can have both guys. I mean, you don't really have to pick and choose, because the good thing about having guys like that is that that's not an issue, because you can never have too much scoring off the bench. You can never have too many guys who can do what both of them do. And there's no reason to pick and choose. You can have both. It doesn't have to be or it can be both, really.
Yep, especially now that Danny Green's gone, and as the roster sits right now, what do you think about guards, 1 or 2 guards? I mean, these guys are kind of it off the bench. So it's not like, if we're going to play, again, if the roster sits as it is and we're going to play 10 guys in an NBA game, those are the 2 guards.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it kind of just makes sense. There's not really a competition there. Both of them can certainly see minutes. So,
and both of them, they both do. Both of them can score relatively well and at a relatively high rate, but both of them do different things. Shake's a score first player, and Melton, Anthony Melton's more of a 3-and-D guy. So their roles are different. They can provide you similar things, but their roles in themselves are still different.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. Anything else from the draft? Anything else you're seeing now post-draft? Anything you want to address there? I mean, I heard someone say now P.J. Tucker's off the table. Then I saw someone say, well, no, it looks like P.J. Tucker's going to Philly. I don't know what to believe, but...
Yeah, I mean, with the whole P.J. Tucker thing, before the draft, it was saying, P.J. Tucker, things are...
3-year, $30
Yeah,
million.
the Sixers are definitely looking to target P.J. Tucker. And then after the draft, I saw something that the Sixers wouldn't be able to clear enough cap space to sign him unless they trade some guys. And then I saw something today that the Sixers are still interested in P.J. Tucker. So, free agency,
that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Free agency in 4 days. So, I'm hoping we find out then. I'm hoping we find out what happens then. But I'd love P.J. Tucker on this team. I don't know if we've talked about PJ Tucker on the podcast, but
I've had my fair
3 year,
share. $30
of
million though is what they were saying.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
That's a lot of money.
You think it's too much? You think it's like the right amount, or
the 3 years scares me a little bit. You know, because he's not young.
No,
I mean he's what, 36?
I think around that.
37 maybe. But as we've seen in this year and years past, he's still getting the job done. He's still good. He's still. I mean, we've said it. You've said it plenty. I think over this year, we need a guy like that. Yeah. We need a guy like PJ Tucker, and so if we can get himself, I wouldn't be opposed. I guess. I mean, I'd have to look more at money.
Yeah.
And see, but like I don't know if we get PJ Tucker, that's kind of it. You know, as far as what we can do
from a cap space perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it depends on Tobias.
Right, and that too. It's like the other side of it is yes, PJ Tucker's exactly what they need, but the other side of it is, excuse me, can they do more with the money that they currently have? Is going to be the question I think that Daryl Morey is going to have to answer. But obviously he's going to want PJ Tucker. He's a Houston guy. We know that Daryl is trying to assemble the Houston 76ers. So he's going to do everything in his power to get the guys like that. But the question he's going to have to answer is 3 years, $30 million. Can I give someone else $10 million a year? Can I give two guys $6 million and $4 million, $5 million and $5 million?
Right.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, and there's going to have to be quick decisions because free agency opens and it's just boom, he's signing with them. Boom, it is, and it's often a lot early on, like not what you expect.
Right.
I remember, what was that the year that JJ signed? Who did he sign with New Orleans?
Oh, with the Pelicans.
Was that a free agent day thing?
Yes, that was 2019 free agency. When he left the Sixers.
So he hasn't been here. He wasn't in the bubble.
I think he was injured.
No, he wasn't in the bubble because we had Josh Richardson.
Yeah. No, he wasn't. So, that was 2020.
Yes.
That was 2020.
So 2019, I remember free agency opened at like 6.
Yes.
And
6 p.m.
6:03, JJ Redick signs a deal with the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm like, wait, what?
Yep.
Yeah, so and no one expected that.
No.
You just never know what's going to happen. So we might very well see someone pay more for PJ Tucker, and if they're going to pay more,
they can have
I say go ahead.
Yeah.
If they're giving him 3 year, $38 million,
they
can
have him at that point. That's like $13 million a year. That's
right.
No,
I'm good.
Yeah.
So okay. Yeah. Why don't we have some fun?
All right.
You ready for this?
Okay.
All right. So. You've been active on, I guess, Instagram stories yesterday. I don't know what like the original post was, if it was a question or what, but walk me through this Allen Iverson, Joel Embiid kind of thing, or what was the root of that? What's happened since? And then I'll give my 2 cents too.
I'm trying to think what actually caused that. I honestly forget. I probably posted like 20 stories today about it, but. Basically, I know what it was. Last night, I was just bored, and I was like, you know what? What's a controversial opinion that I have? So I posted that Joel Embiid's a top 3 Sixer ever, and I got a ton of people like, oh my gosh, like what is your list? Like, how could you say that? Stuff like that. And I was like, all right. I woke up to a ton of responses. I was like, all right, you know what? Why don't I just post about it? So I posted about it. I didn't get much, but then I posted it on my story. And I got a ton of people saying, like, how could you put Joel Embiid top 3? Like, he didn't win MVP. He hasn't made the finals. But it's like, here's, and I explained it in the post, so if anyone that's listening is interested in it a little bit more in depth, then you can go look at that. But, like,
So what is the top 3, 4, or whatever for you?
Well, I have Wilt number 1. I have Julius Erving number 2. I have Joel Embiid number 3. I have Allen Iverson 4, and I have Moses Malone at 5.
Okay.
And I didn't really use the whole awards and accolades thing. Like, I more so focused on what the players did in terms of in terms of things you can actually, like, tangible things, offense and defense and scoring and shooting and all that stuff, like, that's what I tend to use as opposed to the traditional kind of MVP ring kind of thing, because a lot of the times, like, I just feel like, you know what, and we see it this year. A lot of the times the media is voting on these awards and they don't get it right. They give it to players who may not be as deserving as the players who didn't win. For example, Joel Embiid this year missed out on MVP again. A lot of people would very much argue that he deserved MVP, but he didn't get it. So if you're going to say that Joel Embiid isn't an MVP this year and you're going to use it against him, that wasn't his fault. The media voted against him. They gave someone else the MVP, not because of what Joel Embiid did, but because I still don't know why he didn't win it. Like, it still isn't clear enough to me.
I'm with you.
And I just think that, and even with the whole All-NBA team thing, are you going to tell me that Joel Embiid wasn't All-NBA first-team caliber player this year, even though he was second, even though he was second in MVP? Like, that's my thing. The media is choosing these awards and these accolades, so like, by that standard, Joel Embiid wasn't All-NBA first-team caliber this year, even though he was runner-up at MVP. Like, it gets confusing, in my opinion.
It does.
When you use
accolades, get confusing.
Yes, because there's all these goalposts, there's all these things that are getting shifted. There's just narratives. There's all this just, like, random garbage, and I just think it's easier if you're actually using these tangible things like scoring, like, you know, assists and things of that nature, defense. Like, how good are you at these aspects of the game? Not, you know, how many rings do you have? Because there's so many factors in winning a championship, you know? That was like 3 minutes long, but do you think that makes sense? Like, I may not have explained it as concretely as I would have liked, but don't you think that makes sense?
It makes sense with, like, I have more of an understanding as to why you rank them that way, because of what you're looking at, the factors that you're looking at.
Everyone has different criteria. This is just what I use personally, because I don't like to use accolades, and even if I do, it's very sparingly. Like, if it's something like a Finals MVP, because that's an individual award, and there's only a really select few players who can really win that award. But again, I rarely even use that. It's just if necessary, I will.
Okay. Yeah, I had not really even given this topic thought until I saw you getting blown up on your Instagram, and
trust me, I could talk about this for days. But
I personally can't do it yet.
Okay.
To put Joel above AI.
That's fine. That is fine.
And that's just because of the way that I view, or, you know, how I rank them.
Your criteria.
My criteria. And I think, you know, a lot of it is, for me, is, you know, you look at the big things. You look at the MVP, and I get the Joel very, very well could have won. Probably should have won. But he didn't win it.
That's true.
You know, and so it's, you know, he did. I mean, the facts are the facts.
Right.
Unfortunately, he did not. I have less of a problem saying Joel was a first team NBA All-NBA player, because, like, come on, you know.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, scoring. You're telling me that by
that's going to be
standard,
one 20 years from now that's going to hurt in Joel's rankings of wherever he is in Philadelphia sports and NBA league history, because it's going to show what, you know, second team All-NBA, and yet he was second in the MVP that year. Correct. So that one, like, hurts, because, you know, we can say it now, but 20 years from now we're going to be like, what? Joel wasn't, you know, first team that year? Wait, why?
Yeah.
So that sucks. But, you know, the fact that AI's, you know, carried the Sixers to the finals.
I got a lot of that too. I got a lot of people saying that, which
See, that's where I'm hung up, I think, because Joel, unfortunately, Joel hasn't been close.
Right.
Not even close to winning the Eastern Conference yet. Now, Joel takes this team to the finals and gets as far as AI did and wins an MVP, then we're having a very different conversation because I'm sure those are the two things you heard.
Yes. Actually, it's funny because that's basically all I heard. There was a few things that was kind of like, all right, that's kind of a stretch. You're reaching hard right now, but that's majority of what I heard. Which, okay,
I saw someone say longevity.
That.
Yeah. Which is what it is. I recently did I did like my top 15 NBA players of all time just for the fun of it the other day.
Oh, you don't want to see my list.
I had Giannis like pretty high, not top 10, but 12, 13
I have
or
Giannis
something.
15, so yeah.
Yeah. He might have 13, 14, but on mine, and he's going to continue to climb.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just be real. So I had to put him in there. And it's kind of the same thing with Joel here. We know that he's going to continue to hopefully, do what he's been doing over the last couple of years. And I don't know how many years of his prime left that he has, but like to think it's more than 2, 3.
Hopefully.
And he can continue to produce in Philadelphia. That's the other thing. Allen Iverson didn't finish his career here. Well, I guess he did, but you know what I mean. Mm. He had a lot of time in Denver. People forget that Allen Iverson in 2007-2008 averaged 26 points a game in Denver.
Wow.
People often forget that. Every time I hear Allen Iverson slander, I'm like, you forget what Allen Iverson did.
And people are very selective with what they forget and what they don't.
Yeah.
People like to leave a lot of things out because it doesn't fit their argument.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at the age of 32, he played 82 games. He played 42 minutes per game.
I didn't even know that.
And averaged 26.4 in Denver.
That's crazy. Was Melo there yet?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, alongside Melo, man.
Heck of a team.
Jeez.
Heck of a team. 11-time All-Star, 4-time scoring champ, 3-time steals champ, 7-time All-NBA, MVP 2000-2001. Shout out to AI.
Yep.
And shout out to you for this. This is cool. Wow. Yeah, I'd like to talk more. I just don't even know where else to go. I get the Wilt. Moses Malone, very underrated.
Yes.
Just by anybody in the NBA. But the other thing I thought about with this is something, for some reason, that helped me put it in perspective is if I were to do an all-NBA list, ranking the best players in the NBA, top whatever, 100, then according to you, correct? According to you, Joel Embiid obviously is ahead of Allen Iverson on that.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
So that's like, that is, for some reason, that made it more tough for me to say Joel Embiid above Allen Iverson.
I thought about that too, and I was thinking,
the grand scheme of things.
I was thinking, do I agree with that? But I was thinking, yeah, I do.
You kind of have to, yeah right?
It's because if I'm keeping the same criteria that I'm using for the Sixers list, I have, and I do. I have to keep it for the NBA list, which again, I do that. But it just was a little, because someone actually responded with that, like, you have Joel Embiid over Allen Iverson all time, and I was thinking like, that's a little weird, but yes, I do.
Yeah, when you think about it, yeah.
Yes.
So what is do you have your top whatever handy that you did or whatever
10.
With Giannis?
My top 15?
all-time NBA?
Yeah, ready? Here we go. All right, so LeBron, MJ, Kareem, Tim Duncan, Larry Bird. I think I have Magic. I think I have Shaq, Hakeem, Kobe, Wilt, Steph, Bill Russell, Kevin Garnett, Kevin Durant.
Kevin Garnett? Oh,
yes.
I see you.
And, what is that, 14? I think I have... Who am I missing? I think I have Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade?
Yeah, I think I have Dwayne Wade. And then after that, it gets a little foggy after that.
Yeah. So mine, similar start to you, LeBron. Shout out to the new era of NBA basketball fans.
Sir.
Michael Jordan at 2,
yes.
Kareem at 3. I have Magic at 4.
Yes.
I have Wilt at 5.
Oh!
Yes, sir. Show some respect. I got Bill Russell at 6.
6. Wow.
So that too shows our criteria kind of thing. Tim Duncan 7.
Okay.
Shaq at 8.
Okay.
Larry Bird at 9.
Okay.
Kobe at 10.
Okay.
The couple people I sent that to, they're like, "Oh my God, you have Kobe too low," and I'm just like, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like
it's tough.
I feel like the 8 to 10 range is pretty
yes.
good.
Yeah, for me, 6 to 10, like ranking those was a lot harder than the 1 through 5.
Oh yeah.
So Kobe at 10. I threw Steph in at 11.
Where's Hakeem?
Oh, we're getting there. I have Oscar at 12.
No.
Yes, sir. Triple-double. I have KD at 13. I have Giannis at 14 and Hakeem. Hakeem at 15.
I'm sorry.
I had to. I was like, I got to put him in here somewhere, and I was like, I don't want it to be 15.
One of the best defenders ever?
Yes, I know.
Wow.
But I think part of that is just because I honestly think Giannis is going to be above him long term. So maybe this is a fast-forwarded list, 10 years or something, but yeah. That's kind of where I'm at.
Very interesting. Did you say KD?
Yes. Yeah, it's 13.
Good. And you have Steph at 11, you said?
Yeah.
That's good. I have him 12. What did I say? I have him 12? Yeah, I have him 12. So
that was tough. Mm-hmm. That was tough. And this is I didn't erase or nothing. I just went for it.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
It was like I said, 6 through 15 were a lot harder for me, but Okay. What is your... We'll finish with this. Okay. So, obviously, we both had LeBron at 1. Why do you do that? What's your... In 30 seconds, what is your defense for LeBron James being number 1 of all time?
Well, keeping with the same criteria that I used for the Sixers list, I think LeBron is the best. I think he's just the most talented basketball player ever on offense, on defense. I just think as a player, as an individual player, he is the best to ever touch a basketball. Just simply put, he has if you want to use stats, you can. That's fine, but he has the offense, he has the scoring, he has the passing, he has the playmaking, he has the whatever offensive category you want to say. And then when he was, up until maybe 2 years ago, his defense was elite. In Miami, it was elite. And in Cleveland, it took a hit, but he was still good. His defense is there. His offense is all-time great level. So I just think he's the best player ever.
Yeah. 18-time All-NBA.
There you go. There's your accolades. If you want to use accolades,
I'm going accolades.
He has them.
6-time All-NBA defensive team. 4-time MVP, but he's probably had... Gosh, I'm guessing now, but he's probably had 7 other top 3 or 4 finishes, if I had to guess.
Yeah. If it really was most valuable... Or, I'm sorry. If it was... best player in the league every year, he'd have 10 MVPs straight up.
See, yeah, and in my opinion is that when you look at these accolades, to me, placing more of an emphasis on the fact that LeBron has been an 18-time All-NBA performer versus 4-time MVP, I put more stock in the 18-time All-NBA because that means he's one of the top 15, but for him, it's top 5 players in the league every single year. And one of the biggest things I say about Michael Jordan, and I hate that LeBron gets knocked for his finals losses.
Same.
Because Michael had years that he didn't make the finals. Everyone's 6-0, 6-0, 6-0.
LeBron made the finals 10 times?
Yeah.
10 times LeBron James was part of finals winning franchises. Seriously.
Finals appearances.
Yeah. Or I'm sorry, finals. Yeah, you got what I'm saying.
So, yeah, and people try and knock that, he's such a bad record in the finals, but, he gets there.
Right.
And, I have people say all the time that, hypothetically, if LeBron were to go 6-6 in his finals career and Jordan went 6-0, they're like, yeah, I would take Jordan 6-0 all day. But it's like, bro, he made the NBA finals 12 times. How can you... Don't knock it, because literally all that means is that Michael lost the rounds before the finals. And I'm not trying to rag on Michael. I kind of just put LeBron at 1 just because I like to stir the pot a little bit. But at the same time, I am with you. I think he's just the most unique, most gifted. The longevity is absolutely amazing. 18-time All-NBA, it speaks for itself. So, yeah. We'll see. I mean, we'll see if. Time's running low on him. He's still producing, but the Lakers suck.
They gotta.
I mean,
they
that's
gotta do
that's
something.
a mess.
They're just a dumpster fire.
It is a dumpster fire. We'll see if he can get back. But all right, man.
That was fun.
It's late. I need to go to bed.
Same.
So I think that's it for episode 56. 57 will be dropping here within the week or so, and we'll keep on pressing along. Free agency starts soon. Before you know it, the season's going to be here, so we hope that you will continue to join us on Planet 76. Share this pod episode wherever you're at. Give it a like, and we will see you next time on Planet 76.
Let's go.
Peace. Are you on Instagram? Why don't you go give us a follow at Planet 76 Podcast so you can be in the know when we drop new episodes. Thanks for listening to this one, and we'll see you next time.